We were tied at 7. We were tied at 14. We were tied at 21. We were tied at 28. And now we're tied at 35.
I think we've proven who we are. We'll fight, and we're a team to be reckoned with.
Purdy steps up. Purdy throws middle. There's Jennings. He's got it. Touchdown! The 49ers lead the Bears 42-38.
Caleb going to face a free man. Caleb got a man in the face. Late throw to the end zone. Incomplete.
To be able to finish a game like that at the end of the year, thought that was just huge for us.
I knew it was only a matter of time when those comebacks would bite us. Had to be last night. Better than the postseason, though. A wild one last night on Sunday Night Football. Niners held on to win 42-38, keeping their hopes for that 1 seed alive, ending the chance of the 1 seed for the Chicago Bears. Cam, are either the Niners or the Bears, as you sit here today, do they feel like Super Bowl threats?
No, neither team. As mentioned earlier, I think the Chicago Bears are playing with house money. They're playing way ahead of schedule with the addition of first-year head coach Ben Johnson, as well as, still your young quarterback in Caleb Williams. What you've seen in Chicago is something that you can say to yourself, that team is going to be great eventually, just not this year, not at this particular point. And then you start to look on the other side where you say, hey, even though that the 49ers offense is extremely dynamic, they have a lot of questions on the defensive side of the ball that other NFC threats, the Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Philadelphia Eagles, still pose. They get after their quarterback. They are able to play defense at a high level, and I don't see that enough in San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm with Cam here. What I saw last night was a deeply entertaining game between two deeply flawed teams and two deeply, to me, unserious teams. But I'm going to give – I'm sorry to make you gasp like
What?
that. But there's one team that's more serious. It would be the 49ers over the Bears. The issue with both of these teams is the defense. And the Bears, let's start with the Bears. No pass rush, no defense whatsoever, 6 yards per carry. And their season, the success of their season, has been predicated on two things that are really shaky come playoff time. Their turnovers that they get. They started with a pick 6 and still lost. That is an anomalous thing. It can go up and down depending on the game. And then also these fourth quarter comebacks. You cannot rely on that, be lasting come playoff time. They've had 6 already. It did not happen last night. Now on the 49ers side, that defense is also abysmal. They had no sacks. That's the 5th time this season they haven't had a sack in an entire game. The Bears got to do whatever they wanted against that 49ers defense. Now, the offense is out of this world. Brock Purdy is playing as well as anybody in the NFC from the quarterback position. 10 total touchdowns in the last 2 games. But the problem, and the reason I put them above the Bears is that potentially they don't have to go anywhere for the rest of the. It could be home for all these playoff games. So I give them a slight edge over the Bears. But if you're going to ask me to pick any of these teams over somebody with a good defense or a great defense, like, say, the Eagles or any of those other
The Bears just ran all over the Eagles like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, they ran over them 3 weeks ago. Come playoff time, though, I'm trusting that Eagles defense over what I saw from anybody last night.
All right. For one, unserious was a little harsh. Can we admit unserious was a little harsh from DD?
I just don't think they're serious contender. Did you see a serious defense from any of those teams last night?
No, but what I have seen from Chicago is the ability to turn the ball over. And let's say if you go up against like a team like Seattle, who very well could be the 1 seed if they beat the Niners, Sam Darnold has proven he can turn the ball over at a high clip. He's had multiple turnovers in multiple games. And if Chicago can turn the ball over and get the best of Seattle, why couldn't they have a shot there? They went toe-to-toe with a team like San Francisco who could have the 1 seed. The Rams make me nervous, yes, because they have the offensive firepower. They like to protect the football, and their defense is one to be reckoned with. But other than that, especially in the NFL this year, I feel like both of these teams, who's not to say they could score 42, 45 points if they absolutely had to. That is a new recognition that I've seen from the Bears over the last couple of weeks because we know they can run the ball. Now we know they can throw the ball. Pass rush is a problem. Okay?
Big problem.
Pass rush is a problem. That blitz did not scare Brock Purdy at all last night in any way, shape, or form. The defense does make me nervous, but that doesn't mean they couldn't beat a couple teams in the postseason. And you got to remember,
Kittle wasn't out there.
Correct.
They were hurt, and they gave up a pick 6 to begin, and they still put up 42 points on last night. I'm sorry. Defense, unserious defense.
Okay, but you said the same thing about the 49ers, and they weren't even at full strength. Cam, help me. Go ahead.
Yeah, say less. My guy with the unseriousness is diabolical. That's egregious. That's nefarious. Stephen A. would like that one.
You would like that.
Nefarious. What I would say to this is Can the defense get a stop? That's what playoff football is all about. It doesn't matter if you put up 50. Doesn't matter if you put up 40. Doesn't matter if you are at 10 points or 3 points. When we need you the most, can you get a stop defensively? I don't believe that the 49ers can. I don't believe that the Chicago Bears can. That last night's game almost came down to who had the ball last. And if you play that tape back, DJ Moore, I know it was an unrealistic expectation, but DJ Moore was wide open.
Yeah,
and if he was able to get the ball to him, then that would have been something that would have probably turned a lot of people's heads.
Okay, the Niners did stop the ball on that last play, the Bears couldn't score. They made a stop when they absolutely needed to.
Yeah.
As for Chicago, a week before against the Packers were 0 for 5 in the red zone. They made stops when they needed to. It's just last night was an offensive display, and we didn't see a lot of defense. So you both are having a little bit of recency bias. I'll let it pass. And we'll revisit this maybe next week after a few days have passed. The ceiling, though, for this Bears team.
I feel about the Bears the same way I feel about San Francisco. Championship caliber offense.
They need a takeaway to win.
A defense that can get you beat by anybody in the first round. Now, here's what I would say differently. 8 weeks ago, I said championship caliber run game. The run game was so good. Caleb in this last month has been really good. I think he's got 8 touchdowns in December, 8 touchdowns, only 1 pick. He's been really good in specific moments. 250 yards per game, passing 7.5 yards per attempt. So you're seeing Caleb's performance kind of match that run game. I think because of that, the ability to run the football and create those explosive plays down the field, Loveland, Luther Burden III, their emergence, this offense can go score. The concern is the defense is so predicated on those takeaways. They can't get a stop, and so now they've been getting them. They've been getting the takeaways. But you watch last night, you can get 35, 40 hung on you against this defense by just about anybody in the playoffs. And so the ceiling for me is probably a playoff win, just because I think in the playoffs, at some point, an offense is going to buckle down. An offense is going to be psychotic about valuing the football and not giving away and not turning the football over. If you don't do that, you can have this defense.
Yeah.
I think if the Chicago Bears can find a way to get a postseason win, we already know that they're playing ahead of schedule. They're really playing with house money. Nobody expected Caleb Williams to kind of get thrusted. As a matter of fact, we knew he was talented. I'll say nobody expected Ben Johnson's impact to be this early. And if you go into a playoff where you say, hey, if we could find a way to garner this, this moment and feed off this, it's kind of giving the same situation that we thought last year with the Washington Commanders. The only difference is they're more sound and more of a complete offense. Last year, and even this year, the Commanders struggled with protecting the quarterback. That's not the case for Chicago. If I'm going into the draft, I'm bolstering up the defensive side of the ball to give my offense more opportunities. Well, for the Chicago Bears, you have a offensive guru in Ben Johnson with the skill set of Caleb Williams. You're in a good place, and you're in a good place to be successful, multiple times, or as we kind of see this dynasty kind of get created.
This is weird for me to watch. In Chicago, especially when I was covering the Bears, it was always the opposite. The defense was always ahead of the offense, always, forever. And now to see it flipped, you even heard guys in the locker room after the game last night saying, we let the offense down, like the defense did. So it's a different football DNA in Chicago right now. So it's hard for me to watch. The defense concerns me. I mean, a week ago against Green Bay, 0 for 5 in the red zone were the Packers. This week, last night,